Alright guys, welcome to Access MMA. I'm here with Yoni Sambo. He's the fashion and photography. Thank you, man, for coming. Really appreciate it. Alright, so we go way back. Obviously, we had our dance competitions where you guys always won, even though you hosted it. And you're an amazing artist and everything you do, very inspirational. So yeah, just tell us about yourself, man. Like how you get started.
Cool. So my name's Yoni.
Yeah.
Right now I'm into fashion photography. I'm a photography student at Algonquin College. It's my graduating year. We're finishing up right now. I currently am the lead photographer at Models International. Basically started about 2 years ago is when I took it serious, when I took a step back from Carleton. Was like, I want to pursue something that I love, because at Carleton I hated what I was doing. And if you really knew me, I really hated Carleton. My experience there was not good. So when I took Algonquin serious and photography serious and I made the switch, everything just went up from there.
What do you bring to the table in the fashion world?
What I bring is my style of photography. Because when you see it, you're like, that's a Yoni shot. And most of my images, if you follow me on Instagram, is all black and white. And most people in the world today, like when you see it, you're like, that's so different, I'm not used to that. You just live in this colorful world, right? So when you see a black and white image, it changes your perspective and you see everything. So, I mean, if you look at any of my work at school, on my website, Instagram, and you put it next to anyone's, it's like, you see a black and white image, you're like, that's Yoni's work.
Yeah.
So what I bring to the table is me and my knowledge, and what I'm able to create with what I have and make it stand out from everybody else.
Okay, and now going forward, what do you have in store for us? Like, what do you, like any other like shoots coming up with people like really well known outside the city?
So, in the summer I've got an art exhibition by Ron, doing a show out in London, England. When I say London, most people are like, Ontario, that's cool. I'm like, nah, Europe. Flying across the ocean.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a show in London, England this summer. Still figuring out the date, June or July. Next year I'll be working with VIP Dance Events, hopefully again, for their event photographer. I also have, like, on my website, I have like all these creative series that I work on. Those are like, not necessarily personal, but they're not for a client. They're just like for me, for fun, to, like, when you need a break from clients and, hitting deadlines and certain rules. As an artist, you want to be able to create with no rules and not as much limitation. So I have 3 personal series coming out soon. Be on the lookout for that. The first one releases March 31st. This is the first series that I'm dropping right.
Okay. And what was the best piece you've ever done in terms of photography?
Yeah. The best piece. This one actually hits home. There's actually 2 pieces.
Yeah.
The first one is called The Eighth One of the World. It's a recreation of Karl Lagerfeld's Little Black Jacket series. It was styled and shot very Chanel. Just black and white, clean, black dress, pearls. And that was the last shot that I shot for last portfolio. And when I shot that, I was like, dang, I'm pretty good. And it felt like, after all these struggles of multiple shoots to create this portfolio, you shoot this last image, you're proud of yourself of what you created, and you're just like, yeah.
Feel the weight just lifted off your
shoulders.
shoulders.
You're like, oh my god, like it comes together. Like, this was like the bring it home piece. And the second piece I'm most proud of, haven't revealed it yet. It comes out March 31st as well. It's the final piece for my portfolio this year, for this semester, and it was styled from a local fashion designer, Shadu Masidao. She did a great job. Super unique look. I don't want to give too much away, but it'll release March 31st on my Instagram and my website. I'm super excited to share it. It's different. You'll definitely do a double take when you look at it to fully understand what's happening.
I want to ask you, what's your greatest sacrifice?
Greatest sacrifice? Giving up dance.
Giving up dance?
100%.
Really?
Dance was, as a dancer who took class, who competed, but it was like heartbreaking, because it was like, dance took so much time and energy.
It does.
But you thought of it as your career. You're like, do I really want to dance those the rest of my career? At one point in my life, I was like, I'm straight up gonna be a dancer.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, in the long run, I'm like, I can't be a dancer. Actually, my body will physically not allow me to be a dancer for X amount of years because of like past injuries. Like I had serious knee problems.